Hey folks, welcome back to Keith's Garage. Been away, it's been a while since I've done a video. Been enjoying life, you know. I took a couple of weeks vacation. Wife and I headed out and had some great holidays. Been working on other things, working on my other car, working on my son's motorcycle. And took the first trip on the highway in my 38 Chrysler here. And got to try the overdrive. Man, that's sweet. Really enjoyed it. I think I got about 500 miles on the car now since I bought it. Actually, more like 600 miles. And after the last highway trip, I noticed some tire wear. I've got some interesting, it's not interesting, but an odd tire wear pattern. So I'm going to show you that, and we're going to try and deal with it today. I've seen it happen before. Tires aren't cheap, so it's best to get them set up so you get the best amount of life out of them as you can. I'll show you what I'm finding. Let's go down and have a look here. If you look at my tire here, I've got a nice thick tread pattern here in the center. I got a bit of wear on this inside edge, a little bit, but most of it's on this outside edge here. Really down here. I don't have a thread gauge, but you can see it's feathering off here. So I'm going to dress this. This is scuffing on this outside edge, and that's a clear indication of a toe-in, toe-out adjustment issue. Let's get a measuring tape and see what that shows up at. Okay, I grabbed a couple of sticks, pair of chunks of wood I got sitting here to replicate the tires and kind of show you an example of alignment, toe in, toe out measurement wear. So if these tires were sitting perfectly straight, these two pieces of wood, you measure the measuring from the center to the center on each one, would be the same distance at the front of the sticks and at the back of the sticks. There are two tie rods, two rods that are adjustable. One goes to the rear end of the front steering spindle, and they adjust and they get longer or shorter, and you spin them, the tie rods, and they spin on threaded tie rod ends and ball joints. There, the adjustments. You change the length of that rod, and that's going to change how the tire sits on the ground here. So if I adjusted it so we had toe in, this is an extreme example. The measurement across the front of these sticks is going to be a lot narrower than the measurement across the rear of the sticks. And the opposite, a really extreme example of severe toe out. Take a measuring tape. Now the front of the tires are much wider than the rear. I'm going to check tire pressure, and I'm going to check the toe in and out. Spec is pretty much zero. They want them straight. So I'm going to try and measure that. Alright, we got our trusty shop manual here. C18 is my Chrysler, 1938. I go to the service standards at the back here. It says toe in, actual, measured at hub height, 0. 1/8 to 1/16 is preferred here. I don't know what a Ouija board is, must be an old tool. You know, there are professionals who do this for a living. You can take your car to the garage and get an alignment done. But I don't know, maybe I'm a little bit crazy, but I really don't like other people touching my car, especially with tools. I don't know, you know, this is an old car. Most people have never seen one like it. I guess they could set it up, but the trust isn't there. I gotta build trust maybe with someone that can do the alignments. So let's take a measurement and see what we get. Flipping through the book further, they talk about a Ouija board here. It says Ouija board tool. Cool, must be this thing here. Never used one. Here they're showing a picture of toe in, measuring across the center of B, the rear, oh that's the front of the car, I guess it says the front, and the rear of the tires is A. Your two measurements. That's what we're gonna go do. This is my other book, a 1939 or so Mopar's repair manual. Here's a good illustration of the steering linkage in my C18. Although it doesn't say C18 there, it looks like that. I got a steering rod, comes down here and hooks up the steering gear box on this Pitman arm. Then I got a short rod and a long rod over here. See, tie rods. There's clamps. You loosen these clamps, one at each end, and you can spin that rod and twist it and make this end here stick out further, which will set the angle of your tire. Does that make sense? It's telling me that I need to first of all mark center to center on these two here and measure it. I got to get that rod set to the exact length. It's telling me to set it to 31 5/8 of an inch. Then after that's set perfectly, then I use this one to adjust my toe in. Just adjusting this, because these are linked together, will adjust the toe in at both ends. All right, I got some help here from my son Kyle. We're gonna measure the center to center of the tires at the front and the rear, about halfway up the tire if we can, to measure the difference from the front and the back. You wanna hold that? I get about 56 7/8. Let's go to the back. Okay. 57 3/4. So we're just about an inch wider at the back, so we've got too much toe in. So I'm going to jack up the car at this point. I'm just going to set the long side of the steering arm, as requested, the tie rod there, to the factory spec. And then I'm going to reset the toe in there. So I've got my car jacked up and wheels off the ground here. And this tie rod here, I've marked the center of it with a paint pen from here over to this end, way over here. We want it to be 31 5/8. I'm going to measure that, start with that measurement, see what it looks like. Okay, try laying the phone down here, see what we get. Yeah, it's pretty darn close, 31 5/8. I'm going to leave that alone. So there's the long one, all good. The short one right here, this is the one they want me to adjust. I'll loosen a nut here and here. Then I can spin this rod and make this a little bit shorter, this rod, to bring in the rear tires closer at the rear. All right, so we loosen these. We can spin this tie rod here, adjust the length of it. I'm gonna take a quick measurement. There's no spec in the book, but just for myself. It's called 320 millimeters. We're gonna make that shorter. Wow, 315 millimeters. Not sure how far I gotta go, but what we're gonna do is I think we're probably gonna lay the car back down on the ground again, because the suspension is hanging here now. And that could potentially, I don't know for sure, change maybe the distance from center to center on the tire. So I'll bolt her back up and lay it down and take a new measurement. Well, my helper is gone, so this is where it gets kind of tricky. I gotta try and measure this. It's not ideal to do it by yourself, but I just want to see if I'm in the ballpark, because I was at least an inch out before. So I think we're real close. $57.5. Yeah, I'm real close. 57.5 is very close. I need my helper again, but as mentioned, I put the car back down on the ground. The way this steering works and the suspension works is this arm is longer, and I don't know, it sits weird to me. I'm no expert on it, but I thought I measured it on the ground,
Tires straight. I made an adjustment. Might as well measure it exactly the same way as it was before. I'm pretty consistent, right? I'm feeling them real close. They want it within 1/8 of an inch, I think. And without my helper here, I can't do that. But he'll be back later, and we'll double check. I'm not going to call that a win. I think we're going to deal with the tire wear there. I don't think it'll steer any different. I guess I'll find out. I don't think so. Might feel a little bit lighter maybe on the steering wheel, but let's call that a success. There you go, how to set your toe in, toe out. I think they want toe in just a tiny bit, or 0, was it? So let's call it a toe in video. There you go. Have a good one. See you on the next one.